estado militar.
And declare the coup d'etat a military coup d'etat. Call it by that name.
Y sobre las violaciones a los derechos humanos
With regard
de 100 días,
to the human rights violations in the last 100 days, those two need to be denounced.
We are talking to the ousted President Manuel Zelaya. He has made it back into Honduras and has taken refuge in the Brazilian embassy in Tegucigalpa. Honduran troops are outside. At times, they are shooting tear gas. Anjali?
Can you describe what it's been like inside the embassy? Can you describe the scene?
Bueno.
Yes.
Bueno, lo que ha pasado ha sido sumamente grosero
occurred here is
hacia un presidente que su único delito
rude treatment
es
for a democratically elected president. This is not how you treat a president who is fighting to reinstall democracy in his country.
Hemos sido reprimidos.
We have been repressed
de la embajada,
and limited to the embassy.
Introducirse gases lacrimógenos.
There have been tear gas has been fired.
Y al tener interferencia electrónica,
our electronic lines, our telephone lines have been cut.
Y ataques de microonda que nos ha afectado la salud.
We've also been under attack from microwaves and the sound canyon, a long-range acoustic device.
What do you mean, acoustic device, a sound cannon?
Bueno, hay dos tipos de armas.
There are two kinds of unconventional weapons that have been used against us
del régimen de facto. Uno es
by the
un sonido estridente que se usa para
there's a high frequency
dispersar manifestaciones.
Pitch that is been used against protesters.
Y otro es una energía electrónica
that has been used against us is an electronic device that issues microwaves,
que afectan directamente la salud,
which is very harmful for your health. It causes headaches.
As president, do you know about this in the Honduran arsenal?
Sí, claro, esto fue
of course.
Visto directamente por todos nosotros.
We all suffered this. We all witnessed it. There's photographs and videos of this occurring.
And who is using this outside? The tear gas, the sound cannon, whatever you call it, the high-frequency machine. Is it Honduran soldiers?
Son fuerzas militares.
They're military forces
que están, rodeando la embajada
that have surrounded the embassy.
Un campo de concentración.
The embassy, in fact, has been turned into a concentration camp.
President Zelaya, I want to turn back to the question of how the U.S. has responded to your return. The U.S. representative to the Organization for American States described your return to Tegucigalpa as, quote, foolish and irresponsible. What's your response to that?
Yo considero que esa es una declaración
that statement
personal y desafortunada.
Is unfortunate personal opinion of.
No valora mi sacrificio
I don't think it recognizes or acknowledges my efforts and the sacrifices I've made.
Pacífico por reconstruir el sistema democrático en Honduras.
Peaceful efforts that I've made to reinstall democracy in this country.
Yo asumiría como posición de Estados Unidos
I
las
think
declaraciones de la secretaria
that
Clinton y el presidente
the Secretary of State
Obama.
Clinton
Y
and President
desestimos
Obama's
esas
statements
declaraciones
are the ones that
de la
I
OEA.
will consider to be the U.S. position.
President Zelaya, I want to turn to some of the news reports that came out when you first came into the Brazilian embassy. The Miami Herald on September 24th quoted you as talking about the presence of Israeli mercenaries. And I wanted to ask you about this because this has now become a big issue with the Anti-Defamation League and the Wall Street Journal accusing you of being anti-Semitic. Can you respond to these allegations?
Yo considero que esa es una campaña que tiene intenciones de hacer daño a
that is a
mi
campaign that is just trying to smear my image as a politician.
En mi gobierno,
in my government,
tuve más bien críticas por haber incorporado personas importantes de la sociedad hondureña
for
que
including
el judaísmo.
important leaders from the Honduran civil society who practice the Jewish religion.
El señor Jaime Rosenthal y Gianni Rosenthal.
Mr. Jaime Rosenthal and Gianni Rosenthal.
De origen
Rosenthal.
Hebreo. Eran mis principales asesores económicos.
Were some of my principal economic advisors and are in fact fluent in Hebrew.
Yo no creo en la discriminación
I don't
racial
believe
ni religiosa.
in racial or religious discrimination at all.
Siempre he sido solidario.
I've always shown solidarity with
con la diáspora del pueblo judío,
the Jewish diaspora,
con las ofensas para la humanidad que significó el Holocausto,
taken a stand against the crimes against humanity that were committed during the Holocaust.
Y mi forma de tolerancia deben de servir en mis 57 años.
Tolerance has always characterized my time here on Earth in the last 57 years. And I think that speaks eloquently and certainly rebuffs any of those accusations.
President Zelaya, we just have 30 seconds. Your final message as you speak to us from the Brazilian embassy in Tegucigalpa.
Thank you to Democracy Now.
Gracias por tener aquí
Thank you
una cobertura
for covering
el señor Andrew Thomas.
Our situation, and thank you to Andre Thomas.
Y decirle que estamos firme con el espíritu
I want you to know that our spirit is strong
para lograr revertir este golpe de Estado y que vuelva la paz a Honduras.
Peace in Honduras, and we will roll back the coup d'etat.
President Manuel Zelaya, we thank you for being with us. Manuel Zelaya is the ousted president inside the Brazilian embassy now in Tegucigalpa. We are speaking to him, and special thanks to Andres Contreras for helping us with this broadcast. That does it for our show. Happy birthday to Becca Staley, our director. Democracy Now! Produced by Mike Berkshire, for producer Armando Angeli, Comment Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar.